Oi, gente! Estou aqui diretamente do estúdio da LEC em Berlim com um novo jogador da Excel, Odoamne, taking the top lane for Excel this year. How do you feel about joining the team and leaving Rogue after being champion of the LEC?
It's definitely a challenge. Moving anywhere after you win the title, no matter what team you go to, even if I would go to like G2 or something, it would be a challenge personally because there's a lot to prove, and especially with Excel, given that it was always a midfield team, and now that we got players from pretty much all of the other teams in EU. It's an even bigger challenge because usually teams retain some skeleton or like some core of their players, and now that there was literally 5 players from 5 different teams, it feels like an extra layer of challenge on top of everything, you know.
Right.
So yeah, I'm excited. I welcome the challenge, but it's also quite a difficult one.
I can imagine. And Excel took some time to bloom, right? I know that they had a 2-year plan and they ended up achieving it, and they looked very, very strong last year. Do you think that it was, like they retained the coaching staff, if I'm not mistaken? So I'm wondering, do you think that it's just natural that it takes longer for something like this to fall into, like the right places? Or I don't know, like maybe we can attribute the success to, the players, because they were also kind of going back and forth the entire time.
Yeah, definitely having the same coaching staff helps because they, in a way, the team retains some of the identity because they foster the play style for the last 2 years. But also, I think coaching staff is aware that personalities are different, play styles are different, everyone has different ideas of the game. So it's kind of a back and forth right now between ourselves and the coaching staff to emulate what we believe is the best of both worlds, because they might come with ideas of things that worked for them last year, but they're also emulating stuff from, for example, what me and Targa have been doing in G2 and Rogue respectively, because having success with those teams, it's always something that you can look to bring over whenever you move to a new home. So yeah, I would say that it's still work in progress. We're still trying to figure it out, the way we would like to play and emulate each other's, personalities and tendencies and play style. And yeah, it's just rough right now at the beginning.
Don't worry about it. It'll get better.
Yeah.
All right. Well, still talking a little bit about joining into this new team. Can you give us some context on how it's so different to have, Rogue and their play style versus Excel and their play style? What are the biggest difference for you in the top lane?
For me, it's difficult because I need to be a lot more active because I've been playing with roughly the same players for 2 years, and now that I am with a new bunch of players, sometimes I'm still expecting some of the old things that my previous teammates at Rogue were doing, and that's kind of where I fall short a bit, where I should be taking a more demanding role in the sense the way we give information to each other and stuff like this, because I was having a feel of how Larsen was liking to play and Compos was playing as well, and it would be kind of like second nature for me, and I wouldn't even need to say much because I kind of knew what they wanted to do, and now I kind of have to get out of that habit and realize that I need to kind of build up these habits from zero with everyone, because the faster I do that, the faster the team is going to start, gelling together and performing better.
All right. And moving on to top lane meta. How do you feel overall about what we have for now, 13.1? Are you excited about the new items? Are you excited about Cassante?
Honestly, 13.1 seems a bit stale. I think there was a bit more diversity in the past. Right now, it just feels like it's the Cassante, circus, where every draft has a Cassante in it, and I feel like it's still the beginning and people somehow don't really know how the champion works. Because I see way too many solo kills and trays that should not happen just because it feels like some players are first timing against the champion, you know.
Right.
So yeah, for me it's a bit stale because it just feels like it's Cassante and the counter picks to Cassante and Renekton every once in a while. So yeah, it's not really that flexible right now in the top lane. It's mostly still everything around the bot lane fiesta that is happening every game.
All right, good insight. And lastly, now that we are basically done with the first weekend of the LEC, what are your top 3 teams and your bottom 2?
Top 3 teams. I mean, I would say maybe G2, Koi, and for third is a bit hard. I would maybe say Vitality, because Vitality has been looking, okay, even though Fnatic should have won the first game.
Right, but they have the bone machine, so.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's still too early because it's also like strength of schedule. I think Vitality didn't really play super impressive teams. I don't know who they have today. They might have...
Vitality plays against Mad Lions today.
Oh, yeah. I mean, outside of... Actually, I think none of the opponents they had this week were, tough opponents for them so far. So, yeah, strength of schedule is definitely something that is a factor right now, considering, for example, we played G2 and Koi. And, yeah, given Koi, I think we could have won against Koi, but we're bad. Right now, we look a lot worse than we are, especially after today's game as well.
They still won, so it's not all lost.
Yeah, so for bottom 2, I don't really know. I would say maybe Astralis and BDS. Maybe I'm not sure how the bottom of the table looks like. Cause yeah, it's a fiesta right now with the schedule.
As always, first week everyone beats everyone.
Yeah.
But thank you, Odo, so much for joining me.
My pleasure.
And I guess I will see you next time.
Yeah,
All
hopefully.
right.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.